All right, everyone. Today we are going to learn about what makes a like term. Okay. And like terms are the things that you can add and can subtract together to make one term versus the things that you can't. So, for just a second, I want you to think about what you think makes two terms like terms. Pause and then come back. Okay. Hopefully, one of the things that you talked about is the fact that like terms have to have the exact same variables and they also have to have the exact same exponents. So, for example, 3x and 4x are like terms. They both have x's, and we can add them to be 7x. 3x squared and 4x are not like terms. We could not add those together. We would have to leave those just as they are. There'd be nothing we could do to combine those like terms. Okay. Next, 3x squared plus 4x squared. Those are like terms because they both have an x squared. We'd add them to be 7x squared. Some other examples. 3xy plus 4xy. Those are like terms. They would combine to 7xy. 3x squared y plus 4x squared y, despite looking pretty complicated, the variable part is exactly the same. We would add that to 7x squared y. And last but not least, 7xy squared plus 4x squared y. These we can add together because despite the fact that they have the same variables and the same exponents, the exponent's on the wrong variable. In our first one, our y is squared, and our second one, our x is squared. So those are not like terms. We can't add them. Okay, so let's look at some combining like terms examples. Okay, we've got three right here that don't involve the distributive property at all. So kind of what we're going to do here is we're going to find which ones are like terms. In this case, both of those are like terms. They both just have x. We're going to add the number part together. We're going to keep the variable part the same, and we get 14x. In the next one, we're going to kind of do the same thing. There's a like term, and 4x is a like term, but one thing that you're going to have to get used to is that we've got to include that sign before. That's a negative 4x. So what we actually want to do is 3x minus 4x, or if you want to think about it a different way, 3x plus negative 4x. Okay, that's kind of what we want to do. So that's going to get us negative x, and then the plus 2, that's just kind of hanging on for the ride. Okay. What I want you to do is take a look at C, pause, and then come back. Okay, I'm assuming you've done that. You're going to be putting together negative 6c and negative 7c to make negative 13c. And then that plus 13 is not a like term, so that one's just going to be tagging along for the ride. Now what we're going to do is we're going to combine this with distributive property. Okay, so we just looked at distributive property not too long ago, and we are going to now combine those things together. So in each of these examples, you're going to be following the rules of the distributive property first. You might have to do the distributive property more than once. Be careful when you're distributing a negative that you're actually distributing the negative sign. Other than that, that's what we should get after the distributive property for the first one. Now you're looking for like terms, okay? There's a like term with that plus 3x. Add those together to get 13x. The other terms, you just leave alone, okay? You can kind of put those in whatever order you want. Okay, but I'm going to get a final answer of negative 6x squared plus 13x plus 20. If you had those terms in a slightly different order, that's okay too, as long as you made sure that you were just combining the 10x and the 3x. Try B and try C. Pause and then come back. All right, so for B, we're just distributing the negative sign. And now we're looking for like terms. Here, the like terms are the actual numbers. It's 7 and negative 5. So we're going to put 7 and negative 5 together to make negative 2. And then the negative 2x does not have a like term, so it stays the same. In C, we're distributing a 4. So 28x, not squared, minus 8y plus 12. And the second one, we're distributing a -5. So what you're going to notice is not only am I multiplying each of those numbers by 5, but I'm changing the sign on them as well because I'm multiplying by a negative. Okay. Now I'm just finding my like terms. My x's are like terms. I get -2x. My y's are like terms. I get -33y. And my 12 and my 5, they don't have any variables, but they're still like terms because they're just regular numbers. I get plus 17. That's really it for combining like terms. Hopefully this was helpful.